It was a cool night in New York City. Megan was taking her nightly walk across Wells Bridge. Around midnight, the bridge was literally deserted, but the view of the city lights were amazing. She closed her eyes to enjoy the refreshing breeze pass through her locks of hair. When suddenly, a noise caught her attention. Megan scanned the area. She spotted a man on the other side of the bridge not too far. At first sight, Megan sensed something terrible was about to happen. By the way the man looked down into the waters, the way his fists were clenched tight, trying to stop his body from trembling. Megan didn't wait a second to run across the road. As she got closer, she saw the pearls of sweat rolling down the man's forehead as he stepped onto the railing. "Wait!" The man turned around in a panic. He furrowed his brows with a stern look on his face. "Leave me alone." Megan raised her hands as she inched closer. "I know why you're here. And let me tell you, it'll be the worst decision of your life, worse than anything that has happened so far." The man clenched his jaws. It seemed as if Megan's words infuriated him even more. "I told you, leave me alone." "I'm sorry, sir. I'm part of this now. I can't leave. I'll never be able to forgive myself if I left you alone like this." "What to you? You don't even know me." "You don't have to know someone to know how precious life is. Why don't you step down from there?" "This isn't any of your business." The man glanced at Megan fiercely. He then said, "Oh, I know what you are. You're one of them. You work for that prevention campaign, don't you? Patrolling the bridge, trying to make people continue on with their miserable lives." Megan was a little taken aback. "Well, I guess you can say that, but you're wrong about one thing. Anyone who's ever changed their mind has been nothing but relieved." "Relief? It's waiting for me on the other end." The man was silent. Megan took the opportunity to talk some sense into him. It happened once. She won't let it happen again. "If you want, we can talk about it." The man held his head. "And what can I expect a girl like you to understand? It's not even safe for you to be here at this time. Stay at your call center, will you? Sometimes the most unpredictable people become the best of companions. And by the way I see it, leaving you alone seems to be more hazardous." The man chuckled. "I have a daughter your age. She turned 19 a few months ago." "Wow, you have a daughter? I thought you were in your 30s or something. You look so young." "You're actually right. I'm 39. "Well then, you have a loving family, a wife, a daughter, waiting for you back home." "Loving? If only you knew. There's always a solution to all the pollution." "Is that your motto?" "No. Why would that be my motto? It's never don't give up." "Wait, what did you say?" "Made you laugh, didn't it? I'm Megan. You?" "Jake. And after a long time, actually. I was never like this. I always tried to look on the positive side, but things just got worse one after the other. And now it's too late." It all started when I was 18. We were high school sweethearts, but I guess those high school years were the only good times in my life. After Jane and I got married, we moved into a small apartment in the city. Life was tough back then. I managed working 2 jobs at a time. We still barely had anything in the apartment, but we were happy with it. I mean, I was content with it. Nothing was ever enough for Jane. I should have known she didn't love me. She never did. A year into living together, I started to get suspicious about her. There was always something odd about the way she behaved. That followed up with spotting unfamiliar things in the house, like a watch or a pair of keys that obviously weren't ours. It wasn't before long I realized Jane was cheating on me. She betrayed me. What? I was tearing up already, thinking she died or something. This is why you're here? You're lonely? One girl? One heartbreak? I have to be honest. No shyness here. If you were a bit younger, I would have dated you. As a matter of fact, there are numerous women out there that would love to be with you. It's not the end of the world. I didn't want to be with anyone else, and Jane knew I had a weakness for her. I was fooled. She begged me to forgive her for days on end. I started to think she was serious. Hold on. Let me guess. She cheated again. That witch. Jake chuckled as he shook his head. If only she did. This would have been over a long time ago. So what happened after that? Our relationship was up and down for the next 2 years until one day, Jane told me she was pregnant. I can still remember the exact moment. It was the happiest moment of my life. It made me forget everything that happened before. I was going to be a father. The happiness, however, turned into anxiety. I didn't know how I was going to afford it. I tried saving up as much as I could for when the baby would come. Unfortunately, the first year of my daughter's life, Emily, went by without any hardship. It was around that time that I landed a better job and was making double what I was before. But our family wasn't a family anymore. Jane never took care of Emily. She never cared for me. She was always too overwhelmed with college and work. Fast forward a few years and we're constantly fighting and quarreling in the house. I should have never married you, but an incompetent man. Look at yourself before you speak. You betrayed me. No man on earth would have stayed with you after what you did. I've done you a favor. No man would stay with me. You aren't even capable of a relationship. When was the last time you took me out for dinner? When was the last time you complimented me or bought me a dress or a pair of earrings? At least I wasn't sleeping with another woman behind your back. Like you even have the strength for that. Ouch. Now that hurt. Megan suddenly took a look at the man. She widened her eyes and gasped. Wait. No. Don't tell me you did that. You took her life? And now you're trying to escape the police, but you've lost all hope and now you're here? I wish. I have to tell you, you have one wild imagination. So then, what's the issue, dude? The house was nothing but a pit of doom until about a year later, Jane and I got divorced. Finally, I thought you were never going to leave her. But Jane won full custody of our daughter. Emily grew up under her care. I couldn't do anything about it. But Jane later allowed Emily to visit now and then. When Emily turned around 16, she started to come over more often. I was living by myself at the time. I tried dating women, but it was nothing like before. I grew sick of women. The relationships were always no strings attached. I later started a business with a close friend, Caleb, and was doing well. Caleb and I went to college together. He had some issues, but he was doing good at handling money, so the business was successful. But while I had my head wrapped around work, I overlooked what was actually going on. I had no clue that the only reason Emily was staying over so much was because of Caleb. I never in my right mind imagined to walk in on them in her bedroom. It was a horrible memory. I wish I could forget it. I tried to keep Emily away, but Emily became all the more rebellious. I could see Jane in her. Who are you to tell me who I can date and who I can't? You're speaking to your father. You're not my father. I grew up with my mother, and you were never there for me. Emily, you have no clue what you're doing. This isn't right. Caleb is over 20 years older than you. You don't even know him. I knew you would never understand me. I'm finally happy in my life, and now you want to ruin it? You want to break things up between me and Caleb, like how you broke this family? Emily, listen to me. You're making a mistake. You're too young. When you realize you might heal, but there'll always be a scar. I've had enough, Jake. Don't act like you care for me. You never cared for me or my mother. So your daughter broke all ties with you. That's harsh. But here's the bright side. You're only 39. Come on, people get married at 39. Have more kids. 2, 3, 4. Are you crazy? Not a single more. She just didn't break all ties with me. Last week, I discovered my bank account was robbed. Caleb used my daughter to get his hands on my money. And Emily, that fool, she still doesn't realize it. People think I have everything. I have a wife, a daughter, I have my own business. But they just don't know. I don't have right over anything anymore. Everyone I ever did anything for in my life left me. I'm better off leaving them instead. Megan frowned. Seeing her expression, the man furrowed her brows and asked, "What happened?" "You didn't tell me you could predict the future. You have powers." "Powers?" "You've already seen the future. You know everything's going to be a disaster, so yeah, why not? End it already. Come on, jump." "You're not going to stop me?" "No. But I'm going to tell you one last thing. It's a long way down, and it won't be as quick as you think. It'll be long and painful, and trust me, your conscience will be the last of all things to shut down. You'll regret every second of it. And after all that, everyone that's ever done anything to you will win. And you let them win with this one choice." Jake peered over and looked at the waters. After a moment, he climbed down and took a deep breath. "You're right." It was silent. He turned around, confused. He looked around here and there. There was no one around him. Megan was only 18 when she lost everyone in her family. She and her younger sister were the only survivors when her family home caught on fire. Life was difficult. Megan neither had money nor a place to stay, not a person to support her in any way, but she had to support her sister. Her sister was now her motivation. Megan didn't lose hope. After a lot of struggle, she managed to get a job in a small apartment. Megan rarely had time out of her busy schedule, and that too went in totally making ends meet. She couldn't be there for her sister, who was suffering from depression. Megan was devastated when she reached home one evening to find her sister lifeless in her room. Megan was heartbroken. She despised this very act. There was so much to live for. Soon, however, Megan herself started to forget what she was living for. It was only after she met a young man that happiness slowly returned to her life. They were in an intimate relationship, and Megan fell in love with him. However, life wasn't intended to be easy for Megan. A year later, her boyfriend fell fatally ill. There was nothing Megan could do but helplessly watch as her loved one suffered. Megan couldn't take it anymore. All her instincts told her she had had enough. There was nothing to live for. Little did Megan realize what she was leaving behind. A life that could have been. A life that had gone wasted. It was a decision irreversible. Megan now walks the bridge. She couldn't save herself, but perhaps she could save another.
If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family.